Hi friends! Welcome back to our English learning channel. I'm Sarah, and I am so happy to see you again. Today we have a very special listening practice. It is going to be fun, useful, and easy to follow. We will spend time together listening, learning, and speaking English slowly and naturally. So, find a comfortable place, sit back, take a deep breath, and relax. Today is all about listening, understanding, and enjoying simple English. Before we start, I want you to promise yourself one thing. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Listening is like exercising your brain. The more you practice, the stronger your English will become. And here is the good news. You are not alone. I will guide you slowly, repeat keywords, and explain everything. This practice is made for beginners and for anyone who wants to improve English step by step. Today, we will hear real-life stories, natural conversations, and friendly dialogues. You will hear me talk like a friend, and I will explain each new word carefully. Sometimes, I will ask you simple questions, and after a short pause, I will give you the answers. This way, you can practice understanding English and checking yourself at the same time. Let me give you a small tip before we begin. Always try to listen with your eyes closed sometimes. It helps your brain focus only on listening, and it makes English easier to understand. And another thing, don't be afraid to repeat what you hear. Shadowing is a very useful technique. It means you repeat after me, slowly, word by word. Your speaking will improve a lot if you practice like this. Now, are you ready?
Great.
Let's start our journey with a simple story. Listen carefully and imagine the situation in your mind. Picture the people, the places, and the feelings. This is a very important skill for learning English. The more you imagine, the easier it is to remember new words and expressions. We will begin with a story about a young woman named Emily, who is learning English. Emily is like many of us. She wants to speak English well, but sometimes she feels nervous. Today, you will listen to her day, her small struggles, and her exciting moments. You will hear simple English sentences, repeated words, and expressions that you can use in your life too. One sunny morning, Emily woke up very early. The sun was shining softly through her window. She smiled and said to herself, "Today will be a good day. I will practice English today, and I will learn something new." She got out of bed, stretched, and walked to the kitchen. Her cat, Milo, was sitting near the window. Milo meowed loudly, like he wanted to say, "Good morning." Emily laughed. She said, "Good morning, Milo. Are you ready for a fun day?" After a healthy breakfast, Emily decided to go for a short walk in her neighborhood. Walking is her favorite way to practice English. She likes to listen to English podcasts and repeat new words aloud while she walks. Today, she chose a podcast about meeting new people in English. She put on her headphones and started listening carefully. The podcast said, "Hello. Today, we will learn simple ways to introduce yourself in English. Let's start with an easy sentence. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you." Repeat after me. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you. Emily repeated slowly, clearly. Hello, my name is Emily. I am happy to meet you. She smiled. Good, she said. I am learning step by step. While walking, Emily saw her friend, Anna, sitting on a bench. Anna waved at her. Emily walked closer and said, "Hi, Anna. How are you today?" Anna smiled and replied, Hi, Emily. I'm good, thank you. And you? Emily felt happy. She remembered the podcast lesson and said, I'm happy too. I am learning English every day. Anna looked surprised and said, Wow, that's great. I want to learn English too. Emily and Anna sat on the bench and started talking. Emily tried to use simple words. She said, Today I woke up early. The sun is shining. I had breakfast and now I am walking. I listened to an English podcast. It is fun. Anna listened carefully and repeated some words. Shining, breakfast, podcast. I like these words, Anna said. Emily laughed. Yes, you can practice too, she said. After a few minutes, they saw a small dog running in the park. The dog was playful, jumping and barking happily. Emily said, Look, Anna, the dog is very happy. He is running fast. Anna smiled and said, Yes, he looks funny. I like him. Emily nodded and said slowly, Animals are nice. They make us happy. They continued their walk. Emily noticed a small coffee shop. She said, Anna, do you want to drink coffee? Anna said, Yes, I like coffee. They went inside the shop. Emily ordered coffee and a sandwich. The man at the counter said, Hello, what would you like? Emily repeated slowly, Hello. I would like a coffee and a sandwich, please. The man smiled and said, Sure. Anything else? Emily said, No, thank you. While waiting, Emily and Anna talked more. Emily asked, Anna, do you like learning English? Anna replied, Yes, but sometimes I feel nervous. Emily said, That's normal. I felt nervous too, but listening slowly and repeating helps me. Anna said, Really? I want to try. Emily smiled and said, Okay, let's practice together. After getting their coffee, they sat near the window. Emily asked, Anna, can we introduce ourselves in English? Like this. Hello, my name is Anna. I am happy to meet you. Repeat after me. Anna repeated slowly. Hello, my name is Anna. I am happy to meet you. Emily clapped softly. Very good. Now you are speaking English. Time passed quickly. The sun was higher in the sky. Emily said, Anna, it is time to go home. But I am happy we practiced English today. Anna said, Me too. I will practice more every day. They smiled and waved goodbye. Emily walked home slowly, thinking about the morning. She felt proud. She said to herself, I am learning English step by step. Every day I will listen, repeat, and practice. When she reached home, Emily took a notebook and wrote down new words. She wrote, shining, breakfast, podcast, nervous, happy, practice. She read each word aloud slowly and repeated it twice. Then she wrote simple sentences using these words. Emily knew that writing and speaking together helps memory. Finally, Emily relaxed on her sofa. She thought about the day and smiled. Today was a good day, she said. I listened, I spoke, I practiced, and I learned new words. Tomorrow I will do the same. I will become better step by step. Now, my friends, let's pause here for a moment. Did you notice some new words? Let's go through them slowly. The word shining means bright and full of light. Repeat after me. Shining. Good. Breakfast is the first meal in the morning. Repeat. Breakfast. Podcast is an audio show you can listen to. Repeat. Podcast. Nervous means a little afraid or worried. Repeat. Nervous. Happy is feeling good and smiling. Repeat. Happy. Practice means to do something again and again to get better. Repeat. Practice. Excellent. Next, let's check your understanding. Why was Emily happy in the morning? Pause and think. Yes. She listened to a podcast, went for a walk, and met her friend. What did Emily and Anna practice together? Pause. Right. They practiced introducing themselves in English. Can you repeat one sentence they used? Hello, my name is. I am happy to meet you. Perfect. We followed Emily on her sunny morning walk, meeting her friend Anna, practicing introductions, and learning some new words. If you listen carefully, you already practiced words like shining, breakfast, podcast, nervous, happy, and practice. Excellent. Now, let's see what happens next. Today, Emily will face a small challenge. She wants to speak English with someone she doesn't know. Sometimes this can feel a little scary, but don't worry. Emily will show us how to stay calm, listen carefully, and use simple English to communicate. This is very important for all English learners. In the afternoon, Emily decided to go to the local library. She loves the library because it is quiet and she can read English books. She put on her backpack, took her notebook, and walked to the library. The streets were busy with people walking, children playing, and cars passing by. Emily smiled and thought, I am ready for today. I want to speak more English and learn new words. When Emily entered the library, she saw many people sitting and reading. She walked slowly to the desk where the librarian was standing. The librarian smiled and said, Hello. Can I help you? Emily felt a little nervous. Her heart beat a little faster, but she remembered her practice. She took a deep breath and said slowly, Hello. My name is Emily. I want to find books in English. Can you help me, please? The librarian nodded kindly and said, Of course. We have many books in English. Are you looking for stories, learning books, or something else? Emily thought for a moment and said, I want storybooks. I like stories. I want to read and learn English. The librarian smiled and led Emily to a shelf with colorful books. Emily looked at the titles. Some words were new to her, but she tried to read slowly. One book said, The Adventure of Lucy and Max. Another book said, My First English Stories. Emily smiled. She picked 2 books and said, I will take these, please. The librarian checked the books and said, You can borrow them for 2 weeks. Enjoy reading. Emily said, Thank you very much. She walked to a small table near the window and opened the first book. The story was about a little girl named Lucy who finds a small lost puppy. Emily read slowly. Lucy saw a small puppy. The puppy was alone. Lucy wanted to help him. She repeated the words aloud slowly, practicing pronunciation. After a few minutes, a boy around Emily's age came to the table. He said, Hi, are you reading English? Emily looked up and smiled. She said, Yes. My name is Emily. I am learning English. The boy said, My name is Jack. I like reading too. Can we read together? Emily felt a little nervous. She didn't know if her English was good enough. But she remembered, it's okay to make mistakes. She nodded and said, Yes, let's read together. Emily and Jack started reading the story slowly. They took turns reading sentences. Emily read, Lucy saw a small puppy. Jack read, the puppy was alone. They smiled at each other and continued. Emily noticed that listening carefully helped her understand better. Sometimes she didn't know a word, but she tried to guess from the story. After a few pages, Jack asked, Emily, what does the word alone mean? Emily thought and said slowly, alone means by yourself, not with anyone. Alone. Repeat, alone. Jack repeated, alone. Emily smiled. Good. Yes, it means by yourself. Lucy was by herself. They continued reading. Suddenly, the story said, Lucy gave the puppy some water. The puppy was happy. Emily paused and said slowly, Water, it is the thing we drink. Repeat, water. Jack repeated, water. Emily said, Good. Puppy was happy because Lucy gave him water. Jack laughed. Yes, puppies like water. I like this story. After some time, Emily realized she was speaking more easily. She could ask questions, answer questions, and explain words. She said to herself, Wow, I can do this. I am practicing step by step. Then Jack said, Emily, do you want to play a small game with English words? Emily was curious. Yes, what game? She asked. Jack explained, I will say a word in English and you tell me the meaning. Then you say a word and I tell the meaning. It is fun. Emily smiled and said, Okay, let's play. Jack started, happy. Emily said, Happy, it means good feeling. Feeling, smile. Repeat, happy. Jack nodded. Very good. Now you say a word. Emily thought and said, alone. Jack repeated, alone. By yourself. Okay, I remember. They laughed. This simple game helped Emily remember words more easily. After a while, Emily realized it was almost time to leave. She felt proud. Speaking English with someone new was not scary anymore. She said, Jack, thank you. I learned many words today. You helped me feel confident. Jack smiled and said, You are welcome, Emily. Keep practicing. You are good. Emily waved goodbye and walked home. On her way home, Emily thought about the day. She said to herself, Today, I met someone new, practiced English, and I learned many words. I was nervous, but I did it. Step by step, I will become better. She opened her notebook and wrote new words: alone, water, happy, story, puppy, game. She repeated each word aloud slowly. Then she wrote small sentences. Lucy was alone. The puppy drank water. Emily felt happy. I like the game. These sentences helped her remember the words. Now, friends, let's pause and review some new words. Alone means by yourself. Repeat, alone. Water is the thing we drink. Repeat, water. Story is a tale or a small book with events. Repeat, story. Puppy is a small dog. Repeat, puppy. Game is an activity for fun. Repeat, game. Very good. You are learning fast. Next, a small comprehension check. Who helped Emily in the library? Pause. Yes, Jack, the boy who liked reading. What game did they play? Pause. Right. They played a word game where they asked each other meanings. Why was Emily nervous at first.
Pause. Correct.
She was speaking with someone new, and she didn't know if her English was good. Before we finish this section, I want to give you a tip. Meeting new people in English can be scary, but it is the best way to improve. Start with small words and simple sentences. Ask questions. Repeat new words. Smile and stay positive. You will feel more confident each time you try. Remember, mistakes are okay. They help you learn. So, today we learned to speak with someone new, practice reading, ask about new words, and play a small English game. Emily faced her nervousness and succeeded because she listened, repeated, and stayed calm. You can do the same. We followed Emily to the library. She met Jack, read a story, and played a small word game. She learned new words and felt confident speaking English with someone new. Today, we will see how Emily uses English in a small shop, talking to people, asking questions, and buying things. This is very useful for everyday life. After Emily left the library, she felt excited. She thought, I want to speak more English today. I can practice asking questions and buying things. It will be fun. She walked slowly down the street. The sun was still shining softly, and the air was fresh. She saw a small bakery with bread and cakes in the window. The smell was delicious. Emily smiled. She decided to go inside. When Emily entered the bakery, the woman behind the counter said, Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She took a deep breath and said slowly, Hello. My name is Emily. I want to buy some bread, please. The woman smiled and said, Sure. We have fresh bread and sandwiches. What would you like? Emily looked at the breads on the shelf. There were many types: white bread, brown bread, and small rolls. Emily pointed and said, I will take 1 white bread and 2 small rolls, please. The woman nodded and wrapped the bread carefully. Then she asked, Do you want anything to drink? Emily thought for a moment and said slowly, Yes, 1 small orange juice, please. While the woman prepared her order, Emily noticed a little boy looking at the cakes. He said, Mom, I want that chocolate cake. Emily smiled and said slowly, Hello. That cake looks yummy, doesn't it? The boy smiled and nodded. His mother laughed and said, Yes, it looks very good. Emily felt happy. She said quietly to herself, I am speaking English in real life. I am doing it. The woman handed Emily the bread and juice. Emily said, Thank you very much. The woman replied, You are welcome. Have a nice day. Emily smiled and said, You too. She walked outside with her bread and juice. She felt proud. Speaking English in a shop was a small challenge, but she did it carefully and politely. Now, friends, let's look at some new words from this story. Bakery means a place where bread and cakes are made and sold. Repeat after me. Bakery. Delicious means very tasty. Repeat. Delicious. Orange juice is juice made from oranges. Repeat. Orange juice. White bread is soft bread that is light in color. Repeat. White bread. Rolls are small pieces of bread. Repeat. Rolls. Very good. Next, let's practice a short conversation together. I will say a sentence, and you repeat slowly after me. Ready? Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Repeat. Hello. Welcome. How can I help you? Good. I want to buy some bread, please. Repeat. I want to buy some bread, please. Excellent. Do you want anything to drink? Repeat. Do you want anything to drink?
Great job.
Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Now let's check your understanding. Who was in the bakery? Pause. Yes, Emily, the woman at the counter, a little boy, and his mother. What did Emily buy?
Pause. Correct.
1 white bread, 2 small rolls, and 1 small orange juice. How did Emily feel?
Pause. Right.
She felt proud and happy because she used English carefully and politely. After leaving the bakery, Emily walked to a small park near the street. She found a bench and sat down. She wanted to enjoy her orange juice and practice some English words she learned today. She said slowly, "Bakery bread rolls, juice delicious." I can say them slowly, and I can remember them. She repeated each word 2 times aloud. While Emily sat on the bench, she saw a woman walking her dog. The dog was small and fluffy. Emily wanted to practice speaking again. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Your dog is very cute. What is his name?" The woman replied, "Hello. Thank you. His name is Toby." Emily repeated slowly, "Toby. Toby is a good name." The woman smiled and said, "Yes, he is. Do you have a dog?" Emily shook her head and said, "No, but I like dogs very much." The woman said, "That's nice. You speak English very well." Emily felt happy and said quietly to herself, "Yes, I am learning step by step." Then Emily saw a small notice on a tree. It said, "English Speaking Club every Saturday. Come and practice English." Emily thought for a moment. She said, "Wow, this is a good chance to speak more English. I should try it next week." She wrote it in her notebook. English Club Saturday. Practice English. She smiled, feeling motivated. Now let's review some more new words. Cute means nice and pretty. Repeat. Cute. Name is what we call a person or an animal. Repeat. Name. Fluffy means soft and full of fur. Repeat. Fluffy. Notice is a small sign with information. Repeat. Notice. Club is a group of people who meet for the same activity. Repeat. Club. Excellent. Next, let's practice a little dialogue from Emily's conversation with the woman. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat. Hello. Your dog is very cute. Repeat. Hello. Your dog is very cute.
Good.
What is his name? Repeat. What is his name?
Great.
I like dogs very much. Repeat. I like dogs very much. Excellent. Now a small comprehension check. What is the dog's name?
Pause. Yes. Toby.
Where did Emily see the notice?
Pause. Correct.
On a tree in the park. When is the English speaking club? Pause.
Right.
Every Saturday. Why did Emily write it in her notebook?
Pause.
Yes. She wanted to remember to practice English. Before we finish this section, I want to give you a tip. Using English in real life, like in a shop, is very useful. Speak slowly, smile, and don't be afraid of mistakes. Repeat words and short sentences. Ask simple questions. Politeness and patience make communication easier. You can practice asking for items, prices, or directions. Step by step, you will feel more confident. So, today we learned to use English in a shop. Talk politely, ask questions, repeat words, and enjoy conversations with strangers. Emily practiced carefully and learned new words. You can do the same. Keep listening, speaking, and repeating. Every small step helps you improve your English. I'm happy to see you again. In the last section, we followed Emily to a bakery and a park. She practiced speaking English with the woman at the counter and with the dog owner. Today, Emily will go to a small market. She will talk to more people, ask questions, and practice English in real-life situations. Markets are great for practicing because you can see many things, meet different people, and hear lots of words. In the afternoon, Emily decided to go to the neighborhood market. She put on her backpack and walked slowly. The streets were full of small shops and colorful stalls. There were fruits, vegetables, clothes, toys, and many people shopping. Emily smiled and said quietly to herself, "This is a great place to practice English. I can ask questions, learn words, and speak slowly." The first stall she saw had many fresh fruits. The woman at the stall smiled and said, "Hello, would you like some fresh fruits?" Emily felt a little nervous but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, please. Can I have some apples and bananas?" The woman nodded and said, "Of course. How many apples and bananas do you want?" Emily thought for a moment and said, 3 apples and 5 bananas, please." While the woman picked the fruits, Emily noticed the price signs. She remembered new words, cost and price. She asked, "How much does it cost?" The woman replied, "It costs $6 for all." Emily smiled and said, "Thank you. Here is $6." The woman handed her the fruits and said, "You are welcome. Have a nice day." Emily replied, "Thank you. You too." She felt proud. Speaking English with money and numbers can be tricky, but she did it carefully. Next, Emily walked to another stall. This one had vegetables, tomatoes, carrots, onions, and green peppers. The man at the stall said, "Hello, do you want fresh vegetables?" Emily nodded and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, I want some tomatoes and carrots, please." The man asked, "How many tomatoes and carrots do you need?" Emily said, "For tomatoes and 3 carrots, please." The man wrapped the vegetables and said, "Here you go. That will be $5. Emily said, "Thank you very much." While she walked, Emily noticed a small toy stall. There were dolls, balls, and small puzzles. A little girl smiled at her and said, "Do you like this ball?" Emily smiled and said, "Yes, it is very nice." "How much is it?" The girl's mother said, "It is $3. Emily said slowly, "Thank you. Maybe next time." She laughed softly and continued walking. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from this market story. Fruit is food like apples, bananas, or oranges. Repeat, fruit. Vegetables are foods like carrots, onions, or tomatoes. Repeat, vegetables. Stall is a small table or shop where people sell things. Repeat, stall. Cost or price is how much money something needs. Repeat, cost, price. Toy is something children play with. Repeat, toy. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's shopping experience. I will say a sentence slowly and you repeat. Hello. Would you like some fresh fruits? Repeat. Hello. Would you like some fresh fruits?
Good.
Can I have some apples and bananas? Repeat. Can I have some apples and bananas?
Great.
How much does it cost? Repeat. How much does it cost? Excellent. Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Emily continued walking through the market. She saw a small bakery stall with bread and pastries. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. This bread looks delicious. How much is it?" The man said, "It is $2." Emily said, "I will take one bread, please." The man wrapped it carefully and said, "Here you go." "Thank you." Emily said, "Thank you. Have a nice day." She felt happy. Using English in many situations made her more confident. While walking, Emily saw a woman selling flowers. The flowers were very colorful: red roses, yellow tulips, and pink lilies. Emily wanted to practice speaking again. She said slowly, "Hello. Your flowers are very beautiful. How much are the red roses?" The woman replied, "They are $5 each." Emily smiled and said, "Thank you. I like the yellow tulips too. How much are they?" The woman said, $3 each. Emily said slowly, "I will take 2 yellow tulips, please." She paid the money and said, "Thank you. Have a nice day." Now, let's pause and review new words from this conversation. Flowers are plants that are colorful and pretty. Repeat.
Flowers.
Rose is a type of flower, usually red. Repeat. Rose. Tulip is another type of flower, often yellow or pink. Repeat. Tulip. Lily is a flower, often pink or white. Repeat. Lily. Money is used to buy things. Repeat. Money. Excellent. Next, let's do a listening practice. I will ask questions and you think about the answer. Then I will give the answer slowly. Question 1. How many apples did Emily buy? Pause. Answer. 3 apples. Question 2. What did Emily buy at the vegetable stall?
Pause.
Answer. Tomatoes and carrots. Question 3. How much was the ball at the toy stall?
Pause.
Answer. $3. Question 4. Which flowers did Emily buy? Pause. Answer. 2 yellow tulips.
Great.
Now, friends, here is a small tip. When you go to a market or shop, try to use English for everything. Ask prices, ask about products, say thank you, and repeat new words aloud. Practicing English in real life helps you remember words faster. Speaking slowly and politely is very important. Before we finish this section, let's review everything Emily did in the market. She bought fruits, vegetables, bread, and flowers. She asked about prices, counted money, and said thank you politely. She used new words like fruit, vegetables, stall, cost, price, toy, flowers, rose, tulip, and lily. She spoke slowly and confidently. You can do the same. Practice slowly, repeat words, and check yourself. So, today we learned to explore a market, talk to many people, ask questions by items, and practice English in real life. Emily practiced step by step, and she felt more confident. Remember, the more you speak and listen, the better you become. We followed Emily through a busy market. She bought fruits, vegetables, bread, and flowers. She asked questions, practiced counting money, and spoke politely. Today, Emily will go to a small cafe. She will order food, ask questions about the menu, and practice English in a friendly way. Cafes are a perfect place to practice speaking because there are many small interactions you can try. In the afternoon, Emily felt hungry after walking through the market. She noticed a small cafe on the corner. The sign said Sunny Cafe. She smiled and thought, this is a good chance to practice English. I will order food and speak slowly.
She walked inside.
The cafe was cozy. There were a few small tables, some with people reading, others chatting quietly. The smell of coffee and pastries was very pleasant. A friendly man behind the counter said, "Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you?" Emily felt a little nervous, but remembered her practice. She smiled and said slowly, "Hello. My name is Emily. I would like to order some food, please." The man nodded and said, "Of course. Here is the menu. What would you like?" Emily looked at the menu carefully. The menu had many items: sandwiches, salads, coffee, tea, juice, and cakes. Emily wanted something light. She said slowly, "I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please." The man asked, "Would you like the sandwich with salad or without?" Emily thought and said slowly, "With salad, please." Then the man asked, "Do you want any sauce with your sandwich?" Emily smiled and said, "Yes, please. I would like some mayonnaise." The man nodded and said, "Sure. Anything else?" Emily thought for a moment and said, "No, thank you." The man smiled and said, "Okay, that will be $7." Emily took out her money and said slowly, "Here is $7. Thank you." The man handed her food and said, "You are welcome. Enjoy your meal." Emily smiled and walked to a small table near the window. As she sat down, Emily looked around and noticed people speaking English. She thought, this is a good place to practice listening too. She took a small bite of her sandwich and a sip of orange juice. She said slowly to herself, "Chicken sandwich, salad, mayonnaise, orange juice, delicious." She repeated each word 2 times aloud to remember. While eating, a woman sitting nearby smiled and said, "Hello. I like your sandwich. Is it good?" Emily smiled and said slowly, "Hello. Yes, it is very good. I like it." The woman asked, "What do you drink?" Emily replied, "Orange juice. It is fresh and tasty." The woman nodded and said, "That sounds nice. I will try it next time." Emily felt happy. Speaking English with someone new was not scary anymore. After finishing her food, Emily decided to order a small dessert. She walked back to the counter and said slowly, "Hello. I would like 1 chocolate cake, please." The man nodded and said, "Sure. That will be $3." Emily paid and said, "Thank you very much." She walked back to her table, took a small bite, and said slowly, "Chocolate cake, sweet, delicious." She smiled. Practicing English while enjoying food made learning more fun. Now, friends, let's learn some new words from Emily's cafe story. Sandwich is food with bread and filling inside. Repeat. Sandwich. Salad is a mixture of vegetables. Repeat. Salad. Sauce is a liquid added to food to make it tasty. Repeat. Sauce. Mayonnaise is a type of sauce. Repeat. Mayonnaise. Dessert is a sweet food eaten after a meal. Repeat. Dessert. Excellent. Next, let's practice a short conversation from Emily's cafe experience. I will say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you? Repeat. Hello. Welcome to Sunny Cafe. How can I help you?
Good.
I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please. Repeat. I would like a chicken sandwich and a cup of orange juice, please. Excellent. Do you want any sauce with your sandwich? Repeat. Do you want any sauce with your sandwich?
Great.
Thank you very much. Repeat. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
While Emily enjoyed her meal, she noticed some new expressions. She said quietly to herself, "Enjoy your meal" means have a good meal. Repeat. Enjoy your meal. Fresh means something is new and good. Repeat. Fresh. Tasty means something is very good to eat. Repeat. Tasty. Now, let's do a small comprehension check. What did Emily order first? Pause. Yes. A chicken sandwich and orange juice. What sauce did